through chef's drawers. Inkbird controller. Says it's cooling. This thing is 17 years old. Yeah, 17. This is original to the store, so we've done a lot of band-aiding with this one. This is one of my locations. So, let's get this opened up and see why she's not running. It says it's cooling, but it's not. Maybe the Inkbird failed. I've been having an increase in Inkbird failures. So we've actually switched to something else, but let's confirm how this system works. Is this controller feeds an outlet that was mounted. I pulled it, and then the condensing unit plugs into that outlet. So it doesn't work on a solenoid or a pressure control. It just energizes the entire condensing unit. So you can see again, we got all the band-aids we can on a 17-year-old unit. I got nothing here. Now I'm going to come and check power coming out of the controller. Sometimes these controllers look and smell burnt. This one doesn't. Maybe we just got a wiring problem. We're going to try and do this. So these two terminals on the far right-hand side, that's our power main. I had 120 volts there. Now you can see that the far right-hand terminal and that terminal have a jumper on them. So when you measure from here to here, you get 0. But really, then if you measure from here to here, you get 120, right? So this is basically my neutral coming in to power the board, and this is my hot. My hot's jumping over. So from here to here, I have 120. When I test from here to here, I like this virtual meter testing. From here to here, I have 0. So the 120 is coming into this, and the relay is not closing and sending it there. So the problem is absolutely bad controller, 100%. So I'm going to prove it before we do anything else, or we'll pull these two wires, we'll pull these two wires out, we'll put them together, and if the unit fires up or we get 120 volts, then we know. So let's do that just to prove it. So before we do this, let's look at what the current parameters are. The temperature setting is 25. And the differential is 13, so 25, 38, that's all we need to know. And again, it thinks it's cool. So what I did was, this was the jumper running into, let's speak correctly. That was the jumper running into terminal number 7, and this was the wire running out of terminal number 8. So just get rid of the jumper, plug that in. And I have the breaker off. I have the condensing unit obviously unplugged. So let's put that in there. Let's turn this to volts. Yep, still using the backup meter. Sorry. Now when we hit the breaker, the circus. Always. Cook's refrigerator. Power's back on. And really likely you just don't have, 120 volts. No, bad controller. I mean, we were able to test it at the controller, so we knew that was the case. But it's always important, I think, to do the easiest first, which is to just bypass the failed component and see if it works. That way you don't go through the time and effort of replacing this controller only to plug it in and find out, oh man, there was a wire broken. So, knew that wasn't the case here, but good habits, right? Alright, I do like these Inkbirds. I've used them for years. They're a very cheap, but fairly lasting, tool. But I have been seeing more and more failures with them lately, and the face plates have been breaking off and all sorts of junk. So a good friend of mine found this as an alternative, which numerically is almost exactly the same. I mean, they're probably made in the same place. This is an ITC 1000. This is an STC 1000. It doesn't do, okay, It's only 10 amps. And when it says heating, that's not, you can't use this as a freezer because it doesn't have a defrost. You can use this as like a humidistat if you're doing breweries or egg hatching like I do. You can set it up that it'll maintain a certain temperature of the box by either running a fan or running a light bulb. For the only frame of reference I can use is egg hatching, right? You're either cooling the space or you're heating the space. So power runs in, temperature probe, which it should be able to use the same probe, and then we just hook up the cooling circuit, and it just looks cooler. So unproven. This is only the second one I've put in, but my friend who is on here right now is putting them in all over the place. So we'll run the experiment for you, but this is going to be the way to go. Let's get it on Amazon. All right, breaker on. She's waking up. All right, so these guys, they have a little different setup. They just deal in functions, right? In set point, differential, start delay, Fahrenheit, and all that stuff. So we hold down this. First and foremost, I gotta take this to F5. Because I don't speak. All right, 80 degrees Fahrenheit. There we go. America. Now, set point T1. All right. Yep. So remember that was 25. You have to hit power to lock it in, if I remember right. Sorry, I know this is the exciting stuff, but power. Yep, okay, so now F2, which is our differential. Nope, I hit power again. Boo. Alright, F2, which is our differential. 25 and 13 is 38, right? And we understand that because that's air defrost. All right, F3 is our compressor delay, which I don't want on this unit. So now, snowflake comes on, 120 volts at the outlet. Ta-da! That's a good looking unit, right? Alright, so I'm actually going to kill the breaker again. I'm going to reset the box how it's supposed to be. I'm going to hook this up. I've actually got to put my gauges on it because there was a guy out here yesterday, an internal technician, good guy, and shame on me, I didn't ask the right questions. This unit needed to be charged up, I don't know, 6 weeks ago. It was low on gas, 134. So he gassed it up last time. He's a very capable guy. And so the work order came in, this wasn't temping. He showed up, he put his gauges on it. It was reading really low. He weighed some gas into it, and then I was on the phone with him. And again, kind of good processes, right? Doing things the same way every time. Well, the compressor wasn't running. So he added gas to it. Not a lot, but it's only, I think, a 9-ounce system. But he added gas to it before it was running. So that's why I don't want it just plugged in and running until I've got gauges on it so I can see where we're at. Because it is likely overcharged at this point. He did draw out some of what he added, but give me a minute, let's clean all this up. All right. 134A, running a cooler. So, you're only running about less than 20 PSI, 15 PSI, 10 and dropping, so we're definitely short. But if you go to 134 and just look at the temperature, right, we want about a 25 degree temperature. It should put us, I don't know, 25 PSI is going to get us 30. definitely a little low on the head, so yeah, weigh a little bit in. So I actually didn't add any gas as I let it run. She kind of equalized out. Not equalized out. She leveled out to where she should be. So box is pulling down. So then you also have to make sure the store understands they can't use this as their inspection, right? Like 3 times a day they come through and they note the temperatures. This is coil temperature, right? So this is going to go down to 25 degrees, but when this shows 25, the box isn't 25, the coil is. So you just need to make sure the store understands. They can't just look at that and go, yep, that's right. Unless you just have a separate one where you drop the temperature probe in the cabinet, which these are cheap enough. That's a nice thing to do for units that they have to temp all the time. You can actually have the control probe, and then you can have just the display probe. For the cost of these things, easy to put in.